house, finance or insure a house, or stuck with a house and don't know what to do? Florida Talk Real Estate has been your local one-stop real estate shop since 2012. Get the advice you need from your local real estate pros. Here are your hosts, Jim DePola and Johnny C. live on Real Radio.
Good Saturday morning. Welcome to another edition. It's Florida Talk Real Estate. We got you for the next 2 hours of infotainment, and thank you very much for being out there. 92.1, 101.7, terrestrial radio style. We appreciate you tuning in on a Saturday morning. If you have your free download, your iHeartRadio app, it's kind of big time, actually, because we are worldwide. And if you are some outside weird part of the earth tuning in, and I mean weird too, where you're like, man, this is the weirdest place I've ever been. That's awesome of you. Thank you very much. Even if it's like not weirdest place you've ever been, you're there. Thank you very much. And of course, we live stream. Yes, we do. There are cameras, phones, lights. It's a pretty like studio setup in here on a Saturday. There's time spent. So you can live stream with us on Facebook, on YouTube, Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook. Find Florida Talk Real Estate LLC on YouTube, home of a ton of informational chunk videos, plus our live stream on a Saturday. If you'd like to be there and you're not yet, you always can. You can join in while it's live. Join in after the fact and revisit it. And, of course, if you're there out the gates, thanks for being there. And you're welcome to be a part of the program as well. Questions, comments, concerns on the world of real estate. Don't be shy. Join on in. If you want to bring something to the table, dial 877-927-6969 with your questions, comments, concerns in the world of real estate. Now, the first voice you'll hear, the melodious tones of our producer extraordinaire, my brother from another mother. There's Jimothy. What's up, dude?
Hello, and good morning, gentlemen. Happy Saturday. Always a pleasure to be here.
That's what I'm talking about. Nice to see you on a Saturday.
Good to see you too, Johnny.
That's right, Johnny C. That's me, your old buddy, your old pal, your air traffic control on a Saturday. Let's get the important people, like Mike Rauch, the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. Hello, Mike.
Well, good morning.
By the way,
Saturday.
Just if you're noticing, did you see, nailed that post on that intro? Music,
Yeah.
Damn. Wow.
That's fun. We'll have to do that one Saturday where I get a bunch of songs just, ready to line up and you can ramp them.
Just see how you do it.
Yeah,
Ramping?
I really just blew myself away with the timing of that one. That was, I feel good about that.
I didn't know you could do that. You get that kind of flexibility.
Well, there's an intent, and it doesn't always work out. But that one was,
you hit it.
Damn.
Still feels good.
Yeah.
Still feels good.
And I'm even bringing up something and talking about something that nobody else cares about but me. But Jimothy could appreciate it.
Oh yeah. Well, I've heard it in action.
Sure.
I've heard it with real songs and in real time.
Sure.
And I also know the behind the scenes in radio that
it's
most people don't do that. They just line the tracks up.
Yeah. They record it and then make it happen.
Yeah, they make it.
Make
it look like they hit the post.
Yeah, nail it. I just killed it. Like
you still got it, John.
Oh,
basically is what you're saying.
Like beyond got it. Like,
yeah,
that's natural.
Oh,
yeah.
You always had it. You were born with it.
Always had it.
But never did. Like you've never been a DJ.
Never.
You never jocked.
Never.
Yeah. That's what makes it even more spectacular.
Exactly. Totally.
Yep.
I was born at the wrong time.
Did you when you were aspiring to be on the radio, you're like I want to be a jock?
No.
A DJ?
Mm-mm. I wanted to do sports talk radio.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was always talk.
Always talk.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah,
you're just a natural. You have some innate ability to hit the timing.
Well, you said it. Yeah.
What did you say?
You said it perfectly.
Oh, I said it.
Yeah. Perfectly, by the way. Good. Okay. I'm not
an innate ability.
It's an innate ability. That sounds arrogant.
What did you say? You blew yourself? You blew, right? Did he say something like that, Timothy? He blew his own.
That's an innate ability,
right?
So if I will trade my ability out.
Oh,
if we
yikes, jeez, he blew his mind in a own mind.
Good morning.
Good morning. Shout out to Grandma Betty who's listening.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Betty.
Thank you for being there. Always good to see you on a Saturday. Like, let's say good morning to our fearless leader, 14 years now, who right now is going,
shaking his head yet?
Oh, why do I do this? Why do I bring this guy in?
I think he's given up.
He's
like, it is what it is.
First 5-10 minutes of the show.
It is what it is.
I think years ago, he's like, all right, that's a part I have to deal with for
He
guess.
pretends he's over there like typing, like doing show prep still, just so he can be like, wait, what did you guys say?
That's the part I have to deal with so he can nail the post on the intro. 14 years running a top producing Keller Williams team, the Florida Home Pros team at Keller Williams Innovations. There's Jimmy D, Jim DePola. Jimmy D, how you be?
I'm back. It's been a crazy 2 weeks. I've been very overworked. I'm actually negotiating with another agent while you guys were bantering
Really?
Oh,
for an offer.
tell him to call in. Let's
my
do a
gosh.
live.
Yeah, let's do a
negotiation.
live
That
negotiation.
is a
That would
great
be fun.
idea.
That'd be awesome.
That's a
would be
great
fun.
idea. If you can find
Is
somebody
it,
willing to do that, that is a great idea.
Is this
Yeah.
a friendly negotiation? Or are you guys
Well, this
at each
actually
other?
is the one for my house that I was looking for.
Oh,
And,
okay.
I turned in an offer last week, and
Oh,
they gave
nice.
me a counter I didn't like, so I just said, forget about it.
Mhm.
And they just texted me like 6 days later, "Are you still interested in the property?" I'm like, "Not at your terms." That's
Oh.
how I countered.
Nice.
So I'm just waiting for them to cave in. So if you're listening, just cave in, and I'll do the deal.
Okay,
Yeah,
man.
this is for you, a personal.
Yeah, this is my personal. I'm finally looking for a house. Finally,
Nice.
beach life has been great, but it's time to buy again.
Well, good.
And I'm buying just like when it's time to buy, it's time to buy, just like I tell everybody else.
Yep.
I'm not looking, the interest rates are at a higher interest rate right now, not that much higher than last week. We'll talk about that in a
I mean,
second.
way up this week. 0.02
Yeah.
up. week
Yeah.
over
So
week.
that's
screwed
going to
up.
cost me like 7 cents more a month on my mortgage payment.
Yeah, but for the life of the loan,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
That's
we're
7
talking
cents. It
30
adds
years.
up. It
Cool,
adds up.
$15.
But I could refi it, right? I'm marrying the house and dating the rate.
That's right, Jim. It's got to be when it's right for you, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. It really is. I mean, we really believe in that. Unless you're an investor, that's a completely different thing. If you're buying a house, you should just be buying it because you want to live someplace and you don't want to pay the landlord and paying the landlord's mortgage. You have a choice. You could pay the landlord's mortgage or you could pay your own mortgage. Which one do you want to choose?
Well, even for the investor, right? It's the same parameters. It's got to fit like their bumpers that they set to make money, right? And for if you're going to live in it, it's got to fit the. Can I afford this? Is this, you know what I mean? It's same but different.
Well, let me start off with the shout outs, starting off with that
Shout
one
out.
first. Let's do a shout out to Cody. Cody, thank you so much for hiring me to go find you a property. He's an investor. That's why I'm bringing Cody up first,
Nice.
right? So Cody has a very specific business plan. It's worked really well for him. He buys homes cash, but he wants to make, or they could be townhomes and condos. They don't have to be single family. So he doesn't mind being an HOA or a condo community. But what he wants is, and this is, some people call it the 1% rule, where he wants to buy the unit and whatever the gross purchase price is, he wants to be able to collect 1% in rent. So if he was buying a $250,000 property, he'd like to have $2,500 a month rent. Then if he's buying it cash, there's no mortgage, right? He has to pay taxes, insurance, and the condo or HOA fee. And whatever's left over is his profit. And we turned an offer in yesterday, talking about negotiations, right? It ties into everything I'm weaving right now.
Look at you.
Weaving. I'm doing the
Yeah.
weave, right?
Almost like we have a script.
So yeah, I know. It's like we actually
Damn,
planned it out.
We are that good.
And let me tell you, we never plan anything out.
No. Even when there is a plan.
Even when it
I
doesn't
thought
work, we
it's-
just throw it out the
yes,
window.
I thought you always had a plan when you came in here. Jim.
I always have a
Oh, he
plan, but
does.
it's a plan
Yeah.
to fail.
Yeah. There's always a plan.
Yeah.
It's a plan to fail.
A plan that can't change is a bad plan.
What do they say about best laid plans? There's a saying.
Is there
Best laid plans go something. Best
Something,
laid
something.
plans go.
best laid plans?
There's something about how it's not going to work
Best laid plans go something or other. I can't.
out. Okay.
Somebody text us to tell us.
There
Come
we
on,
go.
we want to know.
I don't know.
So what happened with Cody, so that's his business model, right? So he had very specific communities he wanted to be in. So we went into this one community and we were about ready to turn in an offer on one property and a property that he was actually looking for because there's 3 different types of units in this community.
Okay.
And the unit that he really wanted popped up the night that we had structured the offer that we were going to turn in the next morning. So we pivoted right away And we turned an offer sight unseen, which I never do. That's called a blind offer. But then me and Cody went over there 2 hours after we turned in the offer. And when we called up the agent said that there were already 2 offers on the table. One of them also was cash, and they were at list price. So I knew that there would be more people coming in, because even though we were structuring an offer on the night before on a different property in that neighborhood, we also tried to turn in an offer on another property about 2 days earlier, and that got snapped up in 12 hours.
Wow.
And we missed the opportunity by 12 hours.
This is a pretty hot
It's
area.
a pretty, because they're under $300,000. You can get 3-bedroom units for under $300,000.
A lot of eyeballs on it.
Now it is I'm going to check out with you later, Mike. This might be an FHA condo community, so I want to find out, because that might be my little honey hole for people.
So it's definitely a condo community.
Mm-hmm,
You want to know if it's FHA approved.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So we're going to find that out, because I'm going to keep that one as my little honey hole corner, because it's a great neighborhood. And most of the units, you can get units under 300,000 that are 3-bedroom with a garage, townhomes with a garage. They're condos, but they're townhome. They're 2-story with a garage. So anyway,
and
it was
what's his metric if the rent is 1% of
the purchase price,
acquisition cost.
So he's not really getting 1% because he has carry costs, right? He has
Yeah.
the tax insurance HOA, but it still leaves him a healthy profit in his mind. And so what happened was, when we knew I lost out on the first one, the second one we already make the offer, but it was owned by an investor, and the investors were very slow to respond to us. So we were not real happy about turning the offer, but it was the best thing on the market at that moment. Then when this one came in and we found out there were 2 offers, one of them was cash too. He didn't want to lose it, so we put in above asking price. And then,
and even above asking, it still worked as an investor.
oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
in
amazing.
fact, yes, it did. So what happened was I called up the agent and I said to the listing agent, hey, look, we just turned in a very strong offer. We need you to accept it right now. Because I needed to be like sharp elbows and really
Sounds like a little Jedi mind trick.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Will
yeah.
accept
Yeah,
the
I
offer.
wanted.
This is
yeah.
the offer.
Yeah, this is your offer. So she said, I think we'll take that, but you have to talk to the seller, so it doesn't count until it's signed. Waited a couple hours. We were at the house. I called her from the house and I said, hey, has the seller accepted our offer yet? And she said, we really want to wait through the weekend. We just put it on the market today.
Oh.
And we want to wait until Monday. And I go, we have another offer already written. We were going to submit that offer on the other property. If you don't take our offer right now, we're going to move and pivot to the other one, because I'm not having my buyer lose both properties waiting for you and then find the other one when in the contract.
Right. This
So
offer
either-
self-destructs in 24 hours.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
like that. Mission Impossible. Love it. So she was like, okay, let me call the buyer. And then she called back and says, I need a day. And I was like, we're submitting the other offer. And then she called back like an hour later. She goes, I've submitted all the offers we have at this point. They've accepted your offer.
Wow.
So that all happened last night.
Wow.
So we're doing the inspection on Monday. So Monday we'll know for sure if we're buying the unit. I'd be very surprised if there's a problem.
Was the receptive to that, or was it
She was a very
really
nice agent, and I don't want to make it sound like I was being too harsh, but
Yeah.
I was being very firm, right? I
Sure.
was being polite but firm.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to let them know I'm not having this guy. He already lost one unit. I don't want to wait for you and then lose the other unit and then not get this unit.
Right.
And I go, well,
Decide
we
if
got
you
a
want this
very
or not.
strong offer. We're giving you cash above list price. There's no HOA approval. You just got to fill out an application. We can close as soon as you clear the permit. Clear the title. We're ready to go. So sometimes you got to be sharp elbows and really advocate your position when
Sure.
when you know the property's hot.
Sure.
And that's part of the instincts you have when you've been doing it a long time, right? I knew the first property was super hot, and I was the one that was hyper about it. He asked to see it twice, and then when we looked, I was like, this is going to go.
Yeah, these are the kind of things that you want when you're hiring an agent or representation, an agent when you're in a transaction like this, because a property that's hot like that, if you're not represented well, that offer, they could have been like, we're going to give it a couple days, and maybe they get a better offer, but maybe he misses on both properties. I mean, this is a great example of why you really need to be represented well, because that's just negotiating. You had the wherewithal to be like, I need to come in this way with this offer.
You're also like,
or I might lose both.
As a seller, like what more could I ask for? I put it up. I get what I want plus
more. Right.
It's a cash deal. It's a local buyer. It's not some institutional. Hey, we saw this. We're sending an offer from Missouri, right? Like
right.
It's a local buyer, local representation. More than they wanted when they listed it. So
win.
Slam dunk.
Yeah, awesome.
Sorry to interrupt. See the light, Jim.
Yeah. So I'm hoping. Is Johnny on the screen, Jimmy? Let me see here. Hold on one second.
He was.
Wait, I see Jimmy. No, Johnny is
Johnny
not
broke
on
the camera.
Oh, I did it, didn't I?
Okay, there you go. Are you on the screen now? Where are you?
He's the guy with the glasses.
Oh, they have it.
Hey.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, something screwed up on the thing, Jimmy. I'm sorry. I know you're on the phone.
No,
sorry
my
about
fault.
That.
My fault.
No, that's okay.
Sorry about that.
Don't let it happen again, dude.
Put me
All right,
back.
there we
go.
There we go.
That's unacceptable.
Hey, there you go.
Can you turn my filters on?
Sure. Yeah.
Mine
Yeah.
too, please.
Oh yeah, we did bring the makeup artist today. Sorry.
Totally unacceptable. We got to do that whole. Have I been off camera the whole time? Because we got to do that whole first segment over.
That's the second time it did it. So I've already fixed it once.
I'm kidding.
Oh, we did get a little help from the
Oh.
audience there. The best
did
laid
we?
plans of mice and men often go awry.
Best laid plan.
Oh,
Nice
thank
and
you,
nice.
George. Thank you.
Often go
Thank
awry.
you for that.
And Nate chimed in first.
And Nate
there, I
did
see.
too. Oh, I didn't even see
So-
that. Sorry.
Yeah, so I think just means like you can plan for everything. It's not always going to go.
Yeah,
that
that's
way.
right.
Yeah.
it's the same thing. A plan that can't change is a bad plan. It's
Bird in the
it's
hand.
same
Bird in
same
hand's
thing.
better than two in the bush.
A penny saved.
I
is
know
a penny
somebody's
earned.
going to make a comment
right?
about that, right? Yeah,
What'd you say,
it's
Jim?
and it's
Bird
just
in the
like
hand?
to the bush. It's just kind of like
No, I know.
when I'm negotiating on this unit that I may want to buy, right? I gave them an offer, they countered. I didn't like that counter at all, so I just didn't even respond to them. Like, hey, if that's what you're looking for, I'm not your buyer. And now it's over a week later, and he just texted me this morning. It's like, hey, are you still interested in the property? Which told me they countered my offer, which was very good. I gave them 1% less than they were asking. 1%, right? I gave them 99% of what they were asking for. Average right now is 94%.
Right.
So I did them right. And then they came back. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. It isn't what I want to do. And now they're sitting here 10 more days carrying the property. They've been carrying this property for 7 months, empty. And they didn't take my offer. And now they just wasted more money. So take my offer. Just take my offer. If you're listening, take my offer. So, hey, I want to do a couple other shout outs, and we're going to get into Florida property taxes. That is big news. I did a really deep dive into it. I have tons and tons of notes. I really want to have a round robin because this is really big, monumental thing. This is the nation, and I don't want to be too dramatic, but nationally, at least the politicians across the nation, there's many politicians from other states looking at this saying, if Florida does it, can we do it too? So we're right on the cutting edge of this, whether it's good thing or bad thing. I'm not judging. We're
Should
just
we,
going
though?
to talk
'Cause
about
it's gonna,
that.
There's be some thing in November. There's going to be a ballot.
Well, that's
potentially.
why
We very well might have a big say. Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm not even sure we'll get that far, to be honest with you, but because there's a lot of
I think
there's a lot of heavy lifting that they have to do, but they're doing this at the 9th hour because this only gives them enough time to get it on the ballot.
The timing of it all is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Remember, our governor's veto powers are in the bill or the budget for the year. His veto power is line item.
You got to get 2/3 vote for each house for state. reps and House reps. They got to get 2/3 on each
to
side
get the ballot,
just to get it
on
to the ballot.
Yeah.
That's why.
But remember, he's got line item veto power for the budget,
So
right?
he's got leverage.
Oh man, because that happens after this special session. So if you want to go against what the governor wants, he can go against anything you
But he
want.
can't create something.
What do you mean?
Okay, so you got to create structure to have. Well, we'll get into the no property tax in a second. This is all great stuff, but let's get into it.
I think they were absolutely getting this on the ballot in November.
In my opinion, I think it's probably less than 50-50 in my opinion.
Huh, interesting.
I'll tell you why too. I'll give you a reason. But I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not. I wouldn't bet on it. I'm not betting on it.
Oh, I totally would.
But yeah, you sound like you put money on it.
Yeah.
But
And you're saying that other states are watching, not so much like how does it turn out, because that's going to take years to like, one way or the other. It's like they're watching how to get it on the ballot. Like
I guess you guys are just going to have to wait for the segment.
Oh
Yeah.
You're gonna have to wait for the segment. Like, sorry.
Were
about
we
that.
actually going to talk about it? Or
I
this
promise
you're
we're-
going to tease.
Well,
it for
if you
2
let me
hours?
do the shout outs
Way to
for
fall into
9
the
minutes,
web
if
of
you
the
just give me
cheese.
9 minutes and 9 minutes plus 4 minutes, I promise we'll get into everything. Okay, so let me just go there.
Scout's honor.
I want to do a couple of shout outs. I want to give a shout out to William. I'm so happy. We got the 4-bedroom home in Boynton Beach, sold the townhome. That was an awesome opportunity for people. I can't believe how long it took us to sell. I think it was over 60 something days for us to sell that unit. It was immediately rentable. It was 2,000 square feet under air, had a 1-car garage. It was in a great neighborhood, 4-bedroom, 3 full baths. And it took me 60 something days to sell it. I couldn't believe it.
Huh.
We did do a price drop. So what happened is we went from full list price and we dropped it. We dropped it by 5%.
Ooh.
And yeah, so
Big
that's
one.
a big drop for me. We dropped it 5%. And then the day we dropped it, we got 4 or 5 showing requests immediately, just that 5% drop, right? And we got an offer turned in that day, the day after that we reduced the price. Now, it didn't come into the price we wanted. It was still a little bit lower than our list price. And I probably could have got it to come up to the list price, the new list price. But the owner was like, Jim, as long as they don't give us any headaches, I need this to be a smooth closing. I'm moving out of the area. Let's get this deal done. Just go ahead and take it. So we're waiting for the inspection. We're expecting to get nothing on that. And thank you, William, for trusting us. Very, very happy.
How do you manage that one, Jim? When the seller's like, listen, I'm already accepting less than what I want. I don't want any more complications after this point.
Well,
Right,
what
and
we did is he had an inspection report. He only bought the house 3 years ago.
Mhm.
So we had an inspection report. The inspection report was pretty clean. And after that inspection, when he bought it, he put in a new AC system and a new water heater, right? So what we did is we submitted the inspection report with our our acceptance, and said, here's the inspection report we did when, in
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
And here's the upgrades.
And here are the upgrades. So we're going to take your offer without a counter because we're expecting you to treat us the same way on the inspection. Now, if I even said, if there's something structurally wrong with the house, that's completely different. You find out that the roof joists are about to collapse or there's a cracked foundation or something, that's a completely different thing. But don't come to us and say, oh, the carpeting isn't the color we want, or there's a problem with the grout in the downstairs bedroom for the tile, which there is, right? We just told them we don't expect any of that to come up. So we'll see. Now there's no guarantee, Mike,
Yeah,
as you know.
yeah.
Just because people say that doesn't mean that's what's going to happen in real life.
Sure.
But we have that expectation. And usually if you're pretty straight up with people like that, they usually work with you that way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Noel's property, we kind of did the same thing with him when we sold his townhome. And they didn't ask us. Well, actually they did, because there were structural problems. There was a leak and there was something else going on.
Oh.
There was a double tap and a leak in the utility room. But other than that, like, he didn't try to nitpick us or anything on that.
Yeah,
'cause
you're setting them up not to nitpick you on the inspection.
But there's no guarantee. And I tell the
Of course.
sellers that, look, even if they say yes and they swear on their pinky finger or give me pinky finger, whatever. What do you call that? The pinky.
It's called a pinky swear.
Pinky
is,
swear.
yeah.
Yeah,
That
if
I've
it's a
heard. I've
pinky
heard
swear.
that.
You never
Pinky
heard of pinky
promise?
swear?
Pinky
Pinky
promise.
promise.
Both.
Oh, I heard pinky swear.
Mhm.
Pinky
Yeah.
swear.
That's
Sounds-
the up north
sounds right
thing
to
is
me.
pinky. No, you're up north too.
Pinky promise.
You heard
I've
pinky
heard
promise?
that.
Both. I've heard
Yep.
both. Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to give a shout out to Liesel and Albert.
Yeah.
Did I say it right?
Nice.
I
You did.
said it right. I'm so
Nice.
happy. I'm so happy.
I know what I told you last week. It is stuck because you got it right.
Yeah.
What did you
so
think in your head? What are you rhyming?
I
it
think
with?
Diesel now.
Yeah,
thank you.
you.
Lisa, thank you,
see?
Mike, because it's embarrassing when I get people's names wrong after I've been working with them for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So Lisa and Albert, congratulations. Their not only was their offer accepted, but their inspection and everything went well. Everything's looking good for them. Thank you, Chris, for getting them in a contract. Chris Peterson, new member of our team.
Yeah. Give it a
Rocket and
call.
Roll. This is actually technically he's been an agent for 2 years, and I think he did 2 deals last year, but not under the official Florida Home Pros banner, if you will.
Gotcha.
So this is his, in my opinion, his first true Florida Home Pros
His
deal.
inaugural deal.
Yeah. And
Right.
thank you so much, Chris, for doing a great job for Lisa and Albert. I can't wait. They're going to be first-time home buyers. They got $15,000 from Mike. Thank
10.
you, Mike. Oh, 10.
Yeah.
They got $10,000 from
Mhm.
Mike.
I did the same
It used to
thing.
be
I did.
15.
It was 15.
Yeah.
So the last one we had one closed a few weeks back was probably the last
15.
$15,000.
I have a little
one.
tear about that.
Yeah. No, but we took
It's
advantage
amazing.
of it.
It's amazing.
So it's still there. Smart Start. We're talking about Smart Start, the lender credit or community lending incentive from the mortgage firm. But remember, it started. Way back when they started, they were trying to figure out how to allocate the funds. It started as something like 1% of your purchase price or your loan amount, right? So if you were doing a $400,000 loan, you were getting $4,000 credit, and then they realized that they needed
It was taking too long.
more activity. Yeah.
Yeah.
So went up to 15,000. So whoever got that,
That was
Well
so
done.
awesome. How many times?
10,000
I
is pretty
think,
good too.
I think
It
3 of
is
our buyers,
fantastic.
I think 3 of our buyers got the 15, right? Josh got it. Oh, no, Josh didn't get it because he's Fort Pierce.
Oh, yeah.
But I
that's
think
correct.
we
Yeah.
had 3 people that got the
Yeah.
15. I was really happy about that.
You got to love.
And
the
when I
15.
say 3, it isn't just our buyers. It was sometimes the buyers coming to buy
Of the
my
s-
listing.
of the listing.
And
yeah.
then, so 3 people used
Mhm.
it, and we have other people using the 10,000 right now. So the money's running out. You got to give us a call.
I think it sounds to me like it's probably just the mortgage firm looking at it and going, how can we like stretch this out and maximize even more
That-
people?
yeah.
Well, if we bring it down to 10, we can do this many more deals. It sounds to me that's probably the way they worked it.
It started picking up steam, I think, and so it might have just like when they went up to 15, there was just such
Rush for
it's
it.
just like eye popping number, right?
It is.
And as it started getting
10 is
gaining
too.
traction, it just kind of snowballed, and then they're like, okay, now we need to get towards the end. Let's stretch it out further. Let's help
Yeah.
as many families as possible.
Help as many
and
as you can.
$10,000 is still
tremendous
can
amount of
make a
money.
big difference for people.
For sure. And there's a lot of money out there. There's a lot of money out there for the buyers right now between the sellers offering money, the down payment assistance programs. There's just a lot of money out there in order to make up the down payment and closing costs and prepaids, which we know is the number one inhibitor for people buying a house. It isn't that they can't afford a mortgage. They can't usually have all the money needed to buy the house. So this
Right.
gives them that leg up that they need.
It's one of the key pillars of buying a house is like how much money do you have available,
Yeah.
because it does cost
Is it ever?
between down payment, closing costs, prepaids. I mean, it's thousands and thousands
Mhm.
of dollars, and it's just very hard to accumulate that amount of money. So all of these, like the down payment assistance programs, have been really good. Getting the old school help, seller credit to help fill in that gap. And then if other community lending stuff. So when you can combine all those things, like I think
A lot of people are paying first class security to buy the house.
Well, I'll
You
tell
know,
you
the
what.
equivalent of first class security.
So the threshold for qualifying as far as credit goes is, I think, super attainable for folks. Even if you destroyed your credit, if you work with the right people, like Mike can lay out a pretty good path to get your credit right. I think the money that's required.
Yep.
You say one of the key. In my mind, probably the most key. Like it, because again, the credit. it's not like you have to have an 800 credit score. We're talking like, mid-low sixes, right? I mean,
technically,
7.
I'll give you an example. This week, I have a pre-approval, and the credit is in the high fives.
Mm-hmm. And he has the approval.
580 something.
Oh, so I mean,
and we're doing it conventional.
Wow.
Remember, conventional used to be 620.
Really
620 was their minimum, right? So it's conventional, but it didn't work at 10% down. It didn't work at 15% down. Only works when we get them up to 20% down. So as the risk, especially like a credit-based risk, increases, you can kind of offset some of that risk by
with cash
being stronger otherwise, right?
Yeah, with
more money in.
So in my mind, I equate having less cash and that mid credit score with 3.5% down, right? So I'm going FHA in my head.
Yeah.
And what am I? I'm in the more 600 zone, right?
620, right? You got to be
like minimum.
Yeah.
Technically FHA goes down below.
Yeah, I know,
also.
but
you want to be like, I would say no. You still want to be like 640 ish.
You want to be,
but higher. You can be 620.
Yes.
Yeah.
You could be 600.
Yeah.
You could be 580.
True.
So that's why you got to work with the best of the best, right? You really got to have people that know how to make this work.
Let's go ahead and take a break now because it's
right.
9:30. On the flip side, we are going to get through the shout outs because there's a couple of teachable moments, and then we're going to go right into the Florida property taxes because it's such big news. Guys, this legislative session is starting on Monday. So this is going to be in the news a lot. You're going to see a lot of stuff on your social media posts and everything. But we're going to give you facts today. We'll have opinions. Johnny has strong opinions. We're going to hear that. I know Mike has strong opinions, but
not really.
We're going to go into the factual stuff and figure out what's going on.
And there's not a ton of facts to be had. I mean, there's enough, but there's not all the details. The minutia is still kind of
well, that's the stuff I'd like to talk about. Is like what if this happens, then what happens that way, and play
so
a little bit of a chess
like
game and do a little bit.
Yeah,
of
like
that.
Johnny and I probably haven't done that research, but I'm sure you got questions that like hypotheticals. Mine are like, well, how are they going to deal with the revenue situation? And I'd be interested to see what kind of ideas they're talking about.
That.
Yeah. Sweet.
So we'll do all this on the flip side.
Excellent. With that, hey, all this really is touching each other because we're a real estate show. We're talking about the possible elimination, or not elimination, but the real possibility of, I guess elimination is probably the best way to put it.
Like major.
It's real. It's real. It's real.
It's
elimination.
about you eventually completely owning your home, like not having to continue to pay for your home as a Florida homesteader. It does touch the world of real estate more than you can imagine. But if you have questions, comments, concerns, don't be shy. Even though if we're talking, property tax, you can join in and ask a question. We are live on this. What's today? 30th? It's already like basically June. It's insane to me.
I wish it was June 14th.
It's coming, Jim. It'll be here before you know it.
Getting there. Me too.
Thanks for being with us. Always remember FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. When you need a professional, pros pro, buying a home, selling a home, stuck with a home, don't know what to do. Remember FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Facebook, YouTube, consume away. We're back in 4 minutes. Thanks for being with us every Saturday right here on Real Radio.
The bad news, the brain isn't all that great at hearing stuff and remembering it. The good news, you can watch us too. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at
Real Radio 92.1. Here's the latest with weather on Real Radio.
I'm meteorologist Charlotte Carl with CBS 12 News. We are going to see a mostly cloudy start to your Saturday. A few isolated showers along the coastline, nothing widespread, and that's the big story today. Compared to yesterday, things look much drier because of a drier pocket of air that's in the atmosphere. So rain coverage this afternoon will also remain limited.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Ready to upgrade to the perfect sleep setup? Let Mattress Firm sleep experts guide you to the perfect bed at the Memorial Day sale. Top brands, ideal comfort, score unbeatable deals on both. Mattress Firm. They make sleep easy.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rauch from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rauch will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rauch, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Camaronets, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
This is Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Real talk for the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
Yep, I'll say it again, 877-927-6969. That is toll-free questions, comments, concerns in the world of real estate. If you'd like to be involved in the conversation at hand, which should be very interesting, you're welcome to do just that. Jimothy will answer the blinking line there and get you ready to go on the air. At least I believe he will. Hello, Jimothy. Good morning to you.
Hello, and good morning. Of course I will.
Okay.
Happy to do it.
Safe to assume. Thank you very much for all of your efforts. Always good to see you, my friend. Johnny C., that's me, your old buddy, your old pal. There's Mike Rauch. He's the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well this morning. Thank you, sir.
Good to see you. He's right here in studio. If you don't believe me, you can check out the live stream on Facebook, on YouTube, Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook. Florida Talk Real Estate LLC. That's LLC on YouTube. There's a ton of informational chunk videos there, Mike, plus a live stream on a Saturday.
Yeah, and you could, if you miss us
right
at any point during the week,
you
can always go check it out.
Like that.
Rewatch.
That's what I'm talking about.
And you said it. We're intergalactic, I think. Really.
Planetary.
Right?
I like intergalactic.
Planetary.
You like the word or the song?
I just like the concept that we're intergalactic.
Do you know the song that we're talking about?
Really? I have no idea.
Oh, no.
Intergalactic, planetary.
Intergalactic, planetary.
No, I never heard that.
planetary, Intergalactic.
Let's see if he knows who it is once the chorus kicks in.
Planetary, intergalactic.
It sounds like Black Eyed Peas or something.
No, hold on. Give it a second.
Another dimension.
You'll get in a second. Still no?
Are we gonna get?
Here you go. You'll get it now.
Beastie Boys?
Yeah,
Oh,
bro.
nice. Hold it.
Wow.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wow.
Nice, Jim.
Going to make the beat drop.
So
I'm so proud of you right now.
So I just want to get through. Oh, you're proud of me.
This Jim
I know
McGee.
because
Jim
I don't
Paola
know.
with the Florida Home Pros team.
My ringtone is Elvis Presley, so that just shows you what's going on.
I'm proud too. I'm surprised. I did not have high expectations.
That's all time right there.
Yeah.
They're like an all time.
I know, but
Yeah.
I was never a Beasties Boys when I was a
But
kid. I
they're-
was more like Van Halen and stuff.
So, but you're talking.
AC/DC,
you're-
Van Halen. I
you
wasn't
should
a
have been
Beastie
both.
Boys. I know.
You're showing how big they are, though. Like you're wearing.
I knew them, and I knew when I heard it. Yeah. I just want to
Good
get
stuff.
through these shout outs so we can get to the good stuff, which is property taxes. I shouldn't say the good stuff
The good
because this
stuff.
is good stuff too. I wanted to thank people today because it's really important. Listen to this list of people. It just makes me really happy about the audience that we've built over here. First shout out is to Greg and Diane. Greg and Diane, we helped them buy a property and sell a property last year, and Liesel and Albert are their kids. So they referred us, and it's just so nice when somebody has worked with us in the past that I want you to work with my friends, my family, my coworkers, because I know they'll get a great experience with you and get done what they needed. And that's what Greg and Diane did. So
And
thank you so much.
We as professionals can't ask for anything more than that. Like that's
No way.
basically exactly what we want. We want you coming away happy with your experience and happy enough that you're recommending us to your family and friends and loved ones.
And then
Absolutely.
listen to all these other people that were just recent. I did this off the top of my head last night. Kathy, who lives out of state, I helped her sell her house a long time ago. They're the ones that helped me get the referral with that house that had the $672,000 code enforcement fine problem. Kathy was the one that referred out to me to Danny.
Yep.
And I just want to say to Kathy, thank you so much for doing that.
Oh, good. I
I
thought you were
totally
shouting out
appreciate it.
deals from years ago.
No,
Like,
no,
hey,
this
shout
is
it out.
no, this
We
is
closed
all
5 years ago.
No, this is all in the last couple of weeks. Frank is a union chief steward, and he referred us to Josh and his mom Laura. They
Oh.
were in a really tough situation,
Yep.
but we got both of them new homes, and now they live right across the street from each other. And now they got a built-in grandma babysitter for Josh and Lisa.
Very
So thank you so
sneaky.
much.
That's awesome. But
Yep,
great
yep.
for those kids to be able to have that in their
Yeah,
life.
of course.
Yeah.
Tom and Denise, they've referred out to me several times in the past, and I really appreciate Tom and Denise for giving me a call. They're always thinking about me. Jerry, I helped sell a unit over on Singer Island a couple of years ago. He's referred out to me to a couple of people. It hasn't worked out yet with his referrals, but the fact that he's given me the opportunity to get up and swing for the fences, I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
You don't know how much. James K. I helped them sell their mom's townhome. I'm going out to meet Paul, which is the neighbor of the unit I sold, and I'm going to be going out there today and try to help Paul out and figure out what's the best way to maximize the money for his townhome.
Very nice.
Robin referred us out to, Robin came to me because she has a home that a relative needs to sell in Tucson. The relative is ill, so she needed somebody to help them find a great agent out in Tucson. We did that.
That
We're almost ready.
intergalactic again.
Yep, intergalactic. There
Yep.
you go. And just wanted to say that this is the lifeblood of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show is you guys. It isn't about us. It's about you and trying to help you and get you where you want to go. And not just for, hey, I want to buy or sell or even invest like Cody's investing right now. It's also, hey, I want to make sure I have the best insurance rate, right? Another shout out, Peggy and Bill, who are big Real Radio, everything revolved to Real Radio. Do you know who I'm talking about? Peggy?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Her last name starts with J. Peggy J. Well,
Possibly.
she's a big fan of
Very
you,
possibly.
John. But Peggy and Bill, thank you so much. They did a shout out to Ross. I just saw the post today when I
Okay.
was getting ready for the show. They were trying to get a reduction in their homeowners insurance. Unfortunately, they're paying $150 a year, not a month, more than they were paying last year. Not too bad, but they have really good coverage. And they said, shout out to Ross. Ross is the guy.
Yeah.
And Ross is the guy. Ross Camaro, that's Juno Beach.
Brightway
Brightway
Insurance. Juno Beach.
Juno Beach. And so all of these people is what keeps this show going. So when you have people, please don't just give them our number and say, you got to call the radio show, guys. Pick up the phone and ask them, hey, do you mind if we connect you by group text or email? Can I hook you up with the guys from the show? It's worth it. And if it doesn't make sense, we're there to tell you, I don't think this is a good idea. We have a real life example of that. We had Michael and Mariella. They came to us. They wanted to sell their place in Jupiter and then buy a new place in Stewart, but it doesn't make financial sense. It just doesn't. So for based on what they need, they were trying to sell their unit, pay off their mortgage, and buy a new unit cash, and they're short. And they just don't feel comfortable to get a new mortgage, even though the mortgage is going to be lower than the mortgage they have now. They didn't think it was worth it. So we went around the numbers, took the listing agreement. Then they said, we don't think this is going to work for us. It's like, no hard feelings. We'll cancel the listing agreement. Keep in touch. Thank you so much for trusting us. Then they thought about it. It's like, well, maybe one more time. Let's try it one more time. And we tried to do it, and it just isn't working right now. And there's no problem with that, right?
Right.
That's what we're here to do. And, he wants to give me this fabulous review. I haven't given the link yet, but he wants to give me this fabulous review because what he's happy about is I didn't try to get him to do something that wasn't in his best interest. I was there really as a consultant to figure out, is this going to work and can we make this happen?
Yeah.
And a lot of agents would have priced his house to be worth more to make these numbers work. All I had to do was say, instead of saying selling the house for X, we'll just sell it for Y, and then we'll make up the difference that you need. But the numbers aren't there. The numbers on the comps aren't there.
You can't really realistically expect to sell it for that higher number.
Right. And Mike and Mariella are not sophisticated in real estate. So if they had a realtor sit down and told them, oh yeah, we could do this, no problem, they probably would have believed them if they looked like they knew what they were doing, even if they didn't.
Yeah, well, they would just be sitting on the market.
Yeah,
probably, unfortunately.
So thank everybody so much for your referrals. Lifeboat of our business. We love this station. That person was a no. Okay, we love this.
Probably shout out Paul unless you're avoiding that one.
Paul who?
We're closing on Monday.
Oh, well, I always wait until we close because I
Knock
don't
on
want to jinx it.
wood.
But yeah, we have another. I actually have 4 closings next week, so I'm waiting for all of them to close before we talk.
You know who's buying dinner, Johnny?
Yeah, exactly. Right?
All right.
So, okay, now I want to do the deep dive into property taxes. We might do this all the way through the 10:30 break. Maybe it depends on how much we talk about
sure.
this because we're getting a little late here. But so just to set the foundation. There's been a lot of talk over the last year and a half from Governor DeSantis and the legislature, the state legislature, to figure out a way to either reduce or eliminate property taxes for homesteaded homeowners. And there were a whole bunch of different bills that were thrown out by the House last year, or I guess during this year. Maybe some of it was last year, Mike. That part I don't remember.
They definitely crafted one really good one in their eyes that didn't even get voted on by the Senate.
Because, right, the Senate said, no way, Jose. And DeSantis didn't like the idea. So what the House politicians wanted to do was to offer like 3 or 4 different choices, like a la carte menu, to say, hey, voters, here are 4 ideas to reduce your property taxes. Which one would you like to do?
Would have been a
And
disaster.
DeSantis, yeah, that would have been a total mess. And DeSantis like, no, that's not happening. And I don't like any of these ideas. The Senate was like, we hate this idea, right? We hate the ideas that are floating out there. And the thing you got to understand, it's kind of interesting because we have a majority Republican state legislature and governorship, obviously, and they're not even agreeing amongst themselves on how to handle this. The Senate has a very different idea than the House Democrats. So DeSantis said, I'm going to unveil my plan, but he waited until basically this week to unveil the plan.
And his plan is we're going to bypass the House and Senate, right?
No, I didn't get
Kind
that.
of.
Why do you think that, Mike? Can you? I'm asking to seek
because
to understand.
You get it on the ballot, and then the voters decide.
Oh yeah, yes, that part's true.
Yeah,
but
to get on the ballot, he has to go through.
You have
that
to get
process.
2/3.
Yeah.
You have to actually not 2/3, 3/5. I said 2/3. I meant to say 3/5. You have to have 3/5 approval in the House, 3/5 approval in the Senate. Then it's got to go to DeSantis. That's got to sign off on it. Then after that, then they got to put it together to the ballot. Then they got to write up the ballot and the language for it. Make sure that the language is fair, and then it's going to be on the November ballot. And then how many people? I think it's 60%.
Yep.
60% has
Because
to.
We're not just talking a law. We're talking about changing the Constitution of Florida.
Yes.
Right.
This would be a yes. Thank you, Jimmy. This would be a constitutional change, which would make it very hard if it didn't work. If the plan doesn't work, it makes it very hard to take it out of the Constitution. But I guess if it wasn't working, I think the voters would have no problem kicking that constitutional amendment out.
So even if we vote it, they can still change some of the crafting of it after the fact. They did it with medicinal marijuana.
They did.
Right? They can morph it a little bit. So there's still some power to kind of manipulate it after the fact, but not like completely wipe it away. I don't know what the limit is of what they can and can't do, but they can still touch it a bit.
Yeah, they can definitely do some tweaks, but I don't know what's considered a tweak or
limits, right?
Or a fundamental change.
Right. I'm not sure either.
Well, let me just go over what the proposal is, okay? Under the governor's plan, starting January 1st, 2027, if this vote goes into effect, every homesteaded property in the state would immediately go from $50,000 max homestead exemption to $150,000. So it would triple
for 2027.
For 2027. Then in 2028, it would go up to $250,000. So it would jump from 50 to 150 to 250. And when it hits 250, according to their statistical analysis, 60% of the Florida homesteaded owners would be property tax free. So 60% of the homeowners in Florida could pay no property taxes
with an asterisk.
Homesteaded, right?
With an asterisk.
Well, because of the schools and stuff.
The schools, there's non-ad valorem.
Yeah, non-ad valorem. But we're talking the straight.
And that's just in the first 2 years.
That's the first 2 years.
Yeah.
Then what they're saying is they'd like, but then there's kind of a weird part from there. Because
there's more?
Yeah,
there's more.
Well, there's more, but this more is a little question mark. If all that happened and we got up to 250,000 by 2028, and the law was passed, the Constitution was amended, and all this, then what would happen is from there, the legislature would be legally mandated to phase the exemption into 500,000 or more of exemptions for property taxes, which would be 92% of all the homesteaded residents in the country. I mean, in the state.
They have to schedule a full elimination from what I've consumed.
When you say full elimination, well, yeah, they would be mandated, right? And that's why it says they call it the glide path to zero.
Yeah.
So 2028, 60% of the people projected would have no property taxes. And then from there, they would have to phase it in. But that's where it gets a little gray area because they don't have any set deadline or anything.
So at that point, the legislative body of Florida would need to come up with a plan.
Right.
Is that the way I'm hearing this correct?
Yes.
To get to
zero.
100%.
Yes.
For homesteaders.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think the governor wants a 5-year window for people that are buying from out of state before they qualify for the
that's another element.
The exit rate.
Well, we're going to get into that too because that's okay, Johnny. But that's a very controversial part of it. right?
That's what the governor wants. 5-year
Yes.
window. If you're buying from New York, you're gonna have 5 years of owning that property before you're able to get into this off ramp to zero property tax.
But here's the interesting part: you still get the $50,000 exemption if it's homestead.
If it's homesteaded, and if you move from out of state, you should be able to homestead if this is your homestead, right? Why should you not be able to do that?
Right, but you're only going to get the 50,000 until
you start at 50 by starting your homestead, right? So you get on the exit ramp to zero, and it starts at 50 now, and if we vote to change this,
so this is very Florida centric.
Right.
So this is a very Florida centric, like we don't want no northerners, carpetbaggers coming down here and taking advantage of this. And the reason why he has that 5-year exemption thing for the people moving from out of the area, out of state, and moving to Florida, because there's afraid with no income tax and no property taxes for homesteaded properties, that we have a rush influx of people that would be blocking out regular Floridians from buying homes, and like people that live here already. So that's why they're putting in that 5-year period for out-of-staters to become true Floridians in a way. You know what I mean?
If you already live here and
If
you
you're-
move from one place to another, but within state,
Mhm.
you can immediately gain
Yes, the way
and continue that homesteading.
Yes,
That's
and
the-
also if you didn't own a home, but you lived here for 5 years or more, and you work here, you work for a Florida employer,
Right.
And you're a new owner, you would get that benefit
Or
too.
you're a renter and you're buying.
Yes, you would get that, but not.
That's the rub kind of here in a way, because this is about really the crafting of this is about affordability, and I like the idea of you will own your home outright at some point. As we note, though, there's going to be some exemption, right? You have to contribute to some tax aspect, but you're not burdened to paying the state for your home forever. If you live there for 100 years, you're wiping out so much of this tax dollars. And I like the way they're crafting that, but they're crafting it also as affordability. But as Jim just noted, there's that real thing of we become we're already a hotbed for people wanting to come in. We will become a white hot bed of people wanting to come in. And at that point, affordability is I laugh at the word affordability.
Yeah, it's
the
going to be
exact
unaffordability
opposite.
plan.
It's the exact opposite
Yeah.
result, right? The affordability is for if you owned before it kicked in, before the race started. It's only going to really matter in the places where people think it's going to grow, or it already exists where they want to be, right? So watch out, Palm Beach, Broward, Dade, like values should go way up based on desire to be here, on parameters of no state income tax and possibility of no property tax.
Well, there's an element that Mike has brought up in the past, and that is if, because what do you qualify for in a mortgage? You qualify for a payment. So if you don't have that element in there, now you can afford more home, and then that's going to possibly raise the price. Now I'm not going to jump ahead because I'm sure that's
that's a great. I wanted to
but it was
continue with
something
that.
I picked up with that Mike has mentioned in the past.
So let's say, Mike, that somebody had $500 a month savings because their tax bill was not the non-ad valorem, but the regular tax bill was $6,000 a year. So that's $500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
How much extra mortgage can somebody buy with $500 a month more? So every 5,000 is $30, right?
Yep.
So that's
500 divided by 30.
Right.
Who's doing that? Johnny?
Hold on.
What am I supposed to do?
You're supposed
500 divided by 30.
It's
So
16 something.
increments.
Yeah.
Right?
16.
Increments of 5,000.
Yep. 16 times 5. 1, 2,
That's
3.
$83,000 more buying power.
Buying power. Which
without
means
a $500 a month
Right.
property tax portion of your payment.
So if you were looking at a house and it had $6,000 a year taxes today, if they didn't have that tax bill, you could buy that house for $80,000 more and still have the same mortgage payment.
Yep.
And that's how it works. So that's going to increase the values of the home. Because
but you're not.
why do you look confused? Why are you looking confused there, Johnny?
Well, because we're talking about the buyer, right? Is when you're buying it and you get in the mortgage, you're your first year, you're going to be capped at.
So I think there's definitely, I don't know how it's going to shake out as far as how we're qualifying people, because there's a little bit of what the projected taxes.
Right.
And we are usually qualifying you with the current taxes.
Yes, you are.
But if, I'll give you an example. Like if you're a military vet with a 100% disability rating, you are exempt from ad valorem property taxes. But you haven't filed it yet. You don't own the home yet, but we allow that. We say, okay, you're
you
not
can
going to
count
have
that.
property taxes, so we're not going to hit you for that in the payment. So there's a case where we can do that. I don't know how it's going to shake out, but let's just assume, Johnny, that we're able to use the no property tax scenario for qualifying.
Sure. Well,
right? So your principal remember, when you qualify for mortgage, you qualify for a monthly payment. That monthly payment is what we call the housing obligation. It is principal and interest, property taxes, homeowners insurance, and if there's an HOA and mortgage insurance. So all of that combined together needs to be below your max qualifying payment, right, Johnny? You make big bucks, you qualify for, $4,000 a month mortgage payment. What can you get that's going to land you at 400 or 4,000 payment, right? Like what kind of price point do you need to be shopping at to land you at that payment?
Sure.
And if you don't have property taxes, then that gives you more on the principal and interest. So that's what Jim's saying. So you basically
what I'm definitely convoluting is a first time buyer with somebody who's going to have portability, because I would assume portability, once you get to that like zero threshold, I would assume your portability is a zero threshold.
It's
right.
I mean, if they do it the right way, and I'm not advocating for one versus the other, but if they do it, you should. If you're a Florida resident, then you could go from one homesteaded property to the new homesteaded property. Yes. They already have the mechanism in place to bring your savings with you.
Right.
So that's going to exist.
And
right?
so I'm definitely convoluting a first-time buyer and somebody who's going in Jim's scenario, where that is literal buying power for somebody who's going to have that portability.
And I mean, it's the way that the mortgage industry figures out how to project property taxes in a way that, remember, because the mortgage, we're all about assessing risk, right? Like, what's the risk that this loan doesn't get repaid? That's what underwriting and guidelines and everything is all about. So you would think logically, like, okay, well, where are they going to be? Let's project where that payment's actually going to be. And so, the scenario of, well, the taxes are this now, but the taxes are going to be gone next year.
Right.
Right. Or much reduced next year. Are we going to account for that? And if we do that, like logically, then that will give you more buying power. If we don't do that, and we say we do the same thing we do now, which is the existing tax bill, whatever it is right now, that's what we're using for qualifying. That's going to cause this whole thing where like one neighbor, then what's the payment on this house and what's the payment on the house right next door? It could be vastly different depending on the current homestead, status on the house.
Do we want to take this phone call, Jim?
I didn't even see somebody.
Is it related to the conversation?
It is. It's related. Tom wanted to chime in about the property tax possible elimination in Florida. Tom, welcome to Florida Talk Real Estate.
Morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey, morning, Tom. Buddy. Thanks for calling in. What's your views on all this? What's your question?
Okay, I am a former Floridian. I've been in Texas for a little over a year. Last year they voted in. It was $100,000 homestead exemption. They voted in another $40,000, and then another $60,000 for people that were disabled over 65. So it's $200,000 for me now.
Nice.
I'm kind of in between San Antonio and Austin. Now, every day on the news is a school district closing, shutting down. This is over 250 counties in the state. And the end of the school year was just this past week. And it was like one county had like 4 schools or something like that. They had $700 left in their budget and shut down that's it. There's no schools there. And the governor has no, oh, well, that's the way they look at it here.
Especially in Texas. And Florida is very similar to this. Texas, in my opinion, from what I read, I don't live there, so I don't know for sure, but Texas has been very, because it's a conservative state, they really aren't backing the public school systems the way traditionally we've seen governments do in a long time. And I think that's a happy result for them, that the public schools aren't affordable anymore and they have to shut down, because that gives the private schools more opportunity to grow. I'm not saying I agree with that.
And they have like
I'm just saying
vouchers
that's the
or
way
some
it
sort of
is.
subsidy for that purpose,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So
that's
they're
the
losing
desire
out.
here,
It's
too.
almost like it's a
almost
way.
like it's
It's
a
like a
plan.
backhanded way to get around. To change the way the public school system works.
And of
Boy,
course,
it
that's
looks
like that's the setup for how this whole thing is going to be. Like, which side of it are you on? I think everybody, if it was just like, hey, we're going to eliminate your property taxes, no harm, no foul, everyone, of course, would be like, yeah, go for it. But what they're going to lose revenue.
Yep.
You either got to make up the revenue if you want the same level of services. And I know they talked about cutting out for schools and fires and stuff like that. But you're reducing revenue to the municipality, and you either make up that revenue somewhere else or you cut back on the budget.
Well, I think that's
Well-
another important part of the element here of the discussion, which is what exactly is being, because
Well, we're going to
everything
get
that-
into that.
yeah,
I
and that-
promise we'll get into that. But I have one question for you, Tom. Have you seen any kind of things like sales tax increase or anything else to make up the difference?
No, they have a 8% sales tax here.
You have
It's
8%.
7%, and then every county has an option of 1%, which obviously they all put that on.
And I know our governor in particular has said, and I do not want any other tax to increase to offset
Right.
any of this.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me ask you another question. So how are the cities dealing with it, Tom? Like, because there's the ones that the cities and the counties, at least in Florida, are the ones that are being most impacted by this, because that's where they get their money. Is most of their money is through the property taxes. So have you seen any of the cities trying to increase any kind of fees or anything like that that people need every day, that just to try to make up this money, or are they just really hurting right now?
They're hurting, and as far as the voucher program, it's not like Florida. You have to qualify, and I mean, it's not easy to qualify here. They make major announcements when people qualify here for the voucher program. Where I know DeSantis was handing them out, left and right in Florida.
Right.
They make it harder in Texas, huh?
So with the reverberated impact of this increase in the homestead exemption, seeing that some of the public schools are shutting down because they don't have the budget, is there been any, like, are the residents overall still okay with everything, or do they wish that they didn't vote for it in? I know that I'm asking for a blanket statement for everybody, but do you see like a big pushback on this, or people are just like, oh, well, that's what happens. That's what needs to happen to get the results that we want.
Well, right now it's an because it was 100,000 last year. Now it's going to be up to 200,000 for this year. So they're not feeling that impact yet.
Okay.
They're gonna feel it.
So they're the frogs
even in the early stages, you can see some negative impacts, or potentially negative impacts, and it's not even kicked in fully.
Yeah. And in Texas, Tom, do you guys have a similar threshold? Because I'm assuming you guys had to vote for this, yes?
Yeah.
Similar threshold, 60%. Did you have an overwhelming majority?
Yeah, it was 60%.
And how far did you shoot over it? Do you remember?
I think about 70.
Ooh, pretty well past it. Yeah, I think we'll have similar result. I think there's such a desire that I don't even know the repercussion will matter, like you said, until it's too late and it hits you. And I think that's going to be our reality too.
Well, that's what happened in Michigan in 1994. They tried to eliminate property taxes.
Well, so eliminates the beautiful word. How about just shrink it down? When you look at how the revenue that they've collected in just I think the last 7 years alone, it like doubled.
It's crazy. That's
And
the part that bothers me.
The projection for the next 7 years is like another doubling. Like, just cap this. We did it well, and you made 30 million. You're good. Can we just make it so that it stops right there?
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me that just because all the property values went up in the area, and you didn't have like a major influx of people or heavy more usage, extreme usage of city or government services.
Well, that's
it's
where's
just
the money
that the
going?
values
Yeah.
went up
Show me
so
where
that
the money-
everybody's paying more money. That doesn't make any sense because all you're doing is giving government more money to spend that they don't really need at that moment.
Well, they're not accountable
And
for either.
that's the
It's-
part that bothers me.
Yeah.
But then how to fix that becomes really complicated. So I understand that, why people would want this, but
I think there may be a little bit of a red herring there, Jim, just because existing homesteaded properties have not been punished by home values increasing. Yes, their taxes have gone up, but it's been capped at, essentially a max 3% rise if you have an existing homestead property, right? So even though the tax overall has gone up due to non-homesteaded properties, right? And that dynamic's not going to change, right?
but there was no extra, unless there was like during COVID where we had the all the people from the north coming down, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, the New Yorkers are just coming over, and everybody was happy about it because they're wealthier, right? So everybody's like, oh, all the New Yorkers are coming down and they're buying all these properties and raising our property values, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't like we didn't get that many people that's like, wow, this is a really tax on our services that we have to give everybody. And we didn't have that commensurate to the property value increase tax they collected compared to the services they need to give the residents.
far from.
There's a huge gap between those two things. And it's like we're pigs at a trough.
If you understand
Oh, the
those
values
numbers.
went up. Now let's just spend the money. We got extra money now.
On
And
what?
I
though?
guess what I'm saying
Well, here's
is,
the other thing. The state of Florida is holding on to $18 billion.
Well, hold on real quick before you get
Yeah,
into
I'm
that.
sorry.
Tom, do you got
Tom,
anything
I'm
else on your
sorry,
mind,
Tom.
dude?
No, just that's okay. Now here's the thing about Texas. Their taxes are like the percentage is almost double of Florida, and they used to have really good schools here. 20 years ago, they were like one of the tops in the nation, and they're just going downhill.
Yeah.
Wow.
By design, it looks like. I mean, a lot of the conspiracy-minded aspect of it comes to reality
Well, Florida
and they just
does
stick
not
around
have,
and see how it plays
and
out.
Florida does not have one of the best school systems in the country.
We're
We're
like-
like in the
What they're gonna do to
40s.
that.
We're in the 40s.
I thought we were more middle road or
No,
even
we're in the
top third.
40s.
Oh, all right.
No, we're at least when I was a reporter and
you're saying
many years
40s out
after-
of the 50 states?
out of the 50s, we're in
No.
the 40s.
I thought we were
Like we're
closer
around
to,
like Alabama.
I thought we were closer to 15. Maybe that's just
No,
wishful
no,
thinking.
we're not, unfortunately.
Tom,
but-
it's good to hear your voice, dude. Thank you for being with us.
And thank you for your service, Tom,
Yeah,
in
appreciate
the
you.
past.
All right,
That really
thank you,
matters.
sir. Take care.
You be
Okay,
well,
thank
dude.
you.
You got another call there, Jimothy?
We do. We have Bobby on line too. She wants to check in on talk about the Florida property tax. Bobby, welcome to Florida Talk Real Estate.
Hi, thank you.
Hey, Bobby.
Hi, I've talked to you and Mike before. I bought a house in Vero about almost 5 years ago.
Hey,
And by the
congrats.
way, my monthly payment went up $500 a month because the taxes were based on the old person. I didn't know that would happen, but that's not my question. My question is, and I haven't heard this, why are landowners, property owners, responsible for all the infrastructure? Why doesn't everybody take a part in that? And then number two, I heard this number and I didn't verify it, that about 40% own homes and 60% don't. And if that's true, why would this even pass?
Well, that's
Interesting.
why, that's a good question. That's why I'm not sure this whole thing's going to get through, because there have been other states, Bobby, where they've tried to pitch this and it was just struck down by the voters. They were like, no way, we're not doing this, because they felt that what was going to happen is, as much as they didn't like being taxed on their homes, they thought the unknown could have been worse. Like, well, how are we going to raise all this money that we're not getting from the taxes? And they just felt like, we know that the sales tax is going to be raised, or the cities are going to start adding fees onto other things they do, like building permits and things like that, or fines, code enforcement fines, anything they could do to collect money, right? All that would go up, and it was unknown because nobody knew how the cities were going to take it.
And it always seems like the people that don't have always vote like they do have. And when it comes to taxation, I think so many people always vote to eliminate that, and because that's just an easy
It's
progression
just your taxes.
in
No.
an American
Yeah.
mind. Like that's sort of, you know what I mean? I feel like I
The-
bet you the percentage in
the-
Texas was probably similar when it comes to home ownership, and they passed that at 70%.
And I think to Bobby's like the first part of her question
About the infrastructure.
Yeah, like it's going to be, and this is how the debate really is going to be framed, and it goes into what you were saying also, Jim. So the question, she said, well, why are people who own their homes responsible for paying for this infrastructure? And I would take a step back and say, do you agree that the infrastructure needs to be paid for at the levels that it is? Or can they do more or, do less? Like you're going to get less money. Your budget's going to be lower. You need to basically consolidate your spending and focus on certain things, right? So, but do you agree that the budget needs to be funded at existing levels? And then the question is like, well, how is it paid for? And so obviously the what they've done so far is like property taxes have been a big portion of local municipality and city budgets, right? It's probably like a third of their budget, right? Or sometimes more than that. And so they've already kind of agreed this is what needs to be paid for. Here's how we're paying for it. And now we're talking about either shifting who pays for it or eliminating the big segments of the budget.
And I hate to break this to any renter who thinks that they don't pay for it. You absolutely pay for that homeowner's tax bill.
You pay it with your rent.
Yeah, you do. You pay for it.
And so that could be a good answer to her second question, which is why if you're not a homeowner, why would you ever rent to do this? Well, if you're renting, you're paying for it.
You pay for it
because the home is not homesteaded insurance, and it's got taxes on it.
The landlord
and
gets higher. The landlord has to make money, so they just increase the rents, and that's just a very common thing.
So as a solution to affordability, even if you're a renter, it's not going to be going to have more people coming in. Inventory is going to get tight. Home value is going to go up, right? Because people get more buying power. And then rent's going to go up too. So it's like there's the affordability part of it is not, it doesn't have any traction. I don't think you can get traction with that.
From a renter's perspective? No.
From anybody's perspective. Yeah.
Well, if you're planning on staying in your home for a while.
Or if you're an existing homeowner and you just want your home value to go up. Yeah, absolutely.
Anything else on your mind? Sure, appreciate your phone call.
Yeah,
today.
thank you, Bobby.
Okay. Thank you. You have a good day.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
I like her voice. She sounded like a nice lady. I felt like I know her, but I don't know her last name. When she said Bobby, I don't know who it was.
877-927-6969. If you'd like to join us, you're more than welcome. Plenty of time remaining on a Saturday. If you're not comfortable on the radio, though, or you don't want to be involved in the conversation, but you're like, I really would like to maybe buy a home. Remember, FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. A team of pros. You get them all at FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. On Facebook, on YouTube, consume away, share and like. You can change lives, including your very own, with the pros of FloridaTalkRealEstate.com.
Thank you, Johnny. We're going to get into the pros and cons, like in the newspaper, if you will, or the media, the pros and cons on the media side. But before we do that, Copperhead 799, thank you for coming on the show. Like and subscribe to our page. He asked, am I able to claim homestead if my only primary residence is in Florida, but yet I'm not living in it due to working out of state in Michigan for the time being? I am renting it out right now while I'm away month to month. So the short answer is yes, you can keep your homestead, but there is a process you have to follow. Jarrett Perry from the Perry CPA Group, he has a bunch of professional ball players that he works with. And because they traveling all the time, it's very important in order to show that they have homesteaded rights here in Florida, that they have to be down here for a certain period of time of the year. And also they have to show that they spent money down here and actually did things. And their car has to be registered here. And other things, their license, their driver's license should be here. But the other thing you have to know is in order to claim homestead, you only have to show that you lived, you residing in that house, occupying the house for 2 out of 5 years, but it doesn't have to be consecutive. That's why you can come and go. No, it doesn't have to be consecutive at all. So I can keep the house, buy the house, live in there for a year, rent it out for 6 months, come back and live in it for 6 months, and that's my 2 years.
But I think you're talking about capital gains tax status.
No, but also state constitution, the constitutional and the statutory. So there's a constitutional homestead, the federal constitution homesteading, and then there's state statutory homesteading. That would comply for both.
So you're saying for the
I
purposes
have a
of your
relative
homestead
does this.
exemption on your Florida property, you only have to occupy it
Two out of the last 5
years, and it can stay a homesteaded property?
Yes, it can. And
Interesting.
That's you to claim it. It's got to be 2 out of 5, and then to maintain it, you have to continue to do the 2 out of 5.
yeah, so if you owned it for 10, it's just 2 of the last 5 years, right? So the other first 5 years doesn't matter anymore. But I have a relative that travels back and forth from a different state all the time, and they're a big time accountant, okay? And they do this. They've been doing this for 10 years,
Nice.
right? So they have a place in New York.
What's their name and
Yeah.
address?
So they have a place in another state, and but they're homesteading the property down here, and they have to do all this stuff for compliance. And they're doing everything legally. It isn't like they're doing anything shady or anything,
Sure.
but it's just their lifestyle, and that's how they do it. So there are ways, Copperhead. If you want to know the exact ways to do it, I can get you over to Jarrett Perry CPA Group, because this is above my pay grade. I'm not
Right.
an accountant. I can't get and I don't play one on the radio. I almost said TV. I don't
Or
play one
TV
on the
for that
radio
matter.
or
Yeah.
podcast, right? Or on the and I don't play one on your laptop either. So that's the answer to that. Now let's get into the pros and cons that the media is talking about all the time.
Sure. As you're pulling that up, there was one thing though Mike mentioned earlier. You talked about the 3% cap for homesteading.
Yeah.
I've read in the little bit of detail that's been leaked, the proposition is for a 5% cap until the existing washout of property taxing for homesteaded, which I found interesting. Is like, why raise the yearly cap if you're just phasing it out?
Right, and it's only 2 years.
Well,
right?
because I'll just say this. Some
Okay.
of the taxes that will remain, schools, police, fire, like those are still going to be percentages of some number.
Right.
And right now that number kind of, as at least starting point would be the assessed value of the home, which is where that 3% cap exists. So if you increase the amount that it can increase year over year, then you're kind of increasing the taxes on whatever taxes will remain. And you're also, for non-homesteaded properties, I guess they don't have they're not subject to that cap.
Right.
So basically, yeah, you're increasing the assessed value so that whatever taxes remain that you are going to be responsible for can be, it's a bigger chunk, a bigger number.
If it just feels like the opposite of what we're trying to accomplish, at least in a very short term, because it will be short term for homesteaded properties.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Eventually it's phased out to where you're not worried about a 5% cap increase year to year. Just it felt awkward to me, almost like, I wonder if that's fake news, because again, leaked details of what's going to be in this proposal by the governor.
I didn't see the 5% thing, but
No, but it won't be the portion of when I'm describing taxes that will remain. These are taxes that you're not going to go away. So they're still assessed. They're still calculated based on the assessed value of the home, and you still owe them, right? So we're not maybe that's another thing. We're not eliminating property taxes.
Right.
You're eliminating certain segments of the property taxes.
Correct.
And other ones they're saying because people don't want to, like Tom's call, school districts closing schools down. Right. So that's not a good look.
Not a good look.
And so they said, well, no, we're going to protect that. And I don't know if there's been any developments on that. One of the initial ones, like, we're going to fund schools at the same levels, no lower than the levels from 2025 or some number that they picked out, which sounds good, but it's also like, well, what happens when 10 years from now, like, you're still funding the schools at
Idiocracy. I like that movie.
Right. But
I don't really like that movie, but it's a good.
It feels so weird to
portent
watch.
of the future.
Yeah, you're like, wow, that's kind of weird. It's kind of like Wall-E.
Well, let me just give the pros. There's only 4 things. So let me just get through this. So DeSantis's argument is that nobody has true home ownership in Florida. So his argument is, and this is a quote, you never truly own your home because it can be taxed, because you can be taxed out of it by rising values.
Right.
Right. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, they call it a massive affordability relief because we can't fix our insurance crisis. And I don't even want to call it a crisis anymore. Everybody calls it a crisis. We have higher insurance in other parts of the country. Yeah, we have hurricanes, right? It happens. It's like when you're in areas that are prone to things happening compared to the other parts of the country, you're going
Remember,
to pay more.
our insurance crisis was because of
Fraud. Yeah.
litigation.
Well, we fixed
Yeah.
that now.
Okay.
Right.
Well, but it didn't
So-
really fix.
No, but
the-
that also came from,
but-
if we didn't have hurricanes, you couldn't have hurricane damage fraud.
Right, because we had hurricanes.
Well,
where we
hell,
had
you have to-
$2,000
you could. We're Florida.
I'm
We'll
just saying,
figure out
you had
some
to
kind
have
of
the
fraud.
hurricanes in order
No.
for the roofers to
No, we're
defraud the
Florida. We're
insurance company.
Florida.
True. Connection.
I don't think so. I think we're Florida. We would have found out some other way to create fraud, right? We're Florida. But the thing is that what they're saying, what they're on the positive side of this, like the people promoting it, they're saying, hey, we got to do something for affordability for these residents. We really can't do anything with the insurance industry other than what we've done. It isn't enough. So let's go ahead and do this.
That was your third one, or
the second one. Okay,
Oof.
so massive affordability. Now the arguments against, the two big arguments against is we got a $13 billion hole. What they're saying is if this is passed, there's $13 billion that the cities and the counties are not going to get to fund their stuff. So where is this money going to come from? And nobody really has the answer for that yet.
Oh, as they say, a state trust fund to assist.
Oh,
with
no.
core
I'm
local
going to get
services.
it. I'm going to get there as an
Oh,
answer.
okay.
Okay.
All right.
Then the tax shift, right? The other argument is opponents, including the Florida Association of Counties. This is why I'm not so sure that we're going to get it through the legislature because of the lobbyists. All the lobbyists, there's so many lobbyists that are so against this. The Florida Association of Counties, the Florida Association of Cities.
There's a
both
Florida
of those groups.
Association of Counties.
Oh, yeah, and
That's
cities
awesome.
and municipalities, right?
Huh.
So those are groups, people are appointed to them and they create policy and they're lobbyists. And then they go to the legislature and say, hey, we want this or we don't want that.
Huh.
So the counties and the cities, no way, they don't want this. They're terrified of this. They're like, how are we going to be able to afford everything?
And there may be disproportionate impact on
Rural counties.
Rural counties have less revenue overall.
Rural
so there's
counties,
just a huge chunk.
They
of their
figured
budget.
out that maybe 13 counties would go completely broke if this went into effect immediately. So that's what the state senators are worried about. For whatever reason, and it's always like this, even on national politics, usually the House people are more rabble rousers for the people, blah, blah, blah. And the senators are more like eggheady and looking at the big pictures, like, calm down there, Mr. and Mrs. Houses.
Yeah,
we're
it's supposed to be that way. Where
Yeah,
they're more
it's supposed to-
They're all supposed to be constituents with people that put you in there, but it feels like within the House there's much more representation for your street.
Yes. Yeah.
It's-
So
it
the
goes back
senators
to
are
British,
really,
right?
the
The House of
senators are like,
Commons, right?
the reason why the senators shut down the House bills in the past is because they said there's 13 of our counties are going to go completely broke because they rely on those property values because they're so rural. It's agricultural exemptions for farmland and stuff like that. They don't have any money, right? If they don't have this homesteaded,
Oh, and
they
they're
don't
tying
have
it-
enough sales.
And they're tying in a bunch of exemptions for small businesses and trying to create gaps to where they don't have increases in property taxes for small businesses.
Yeah. So there's a $13 billion hole and nobody's talking about how they're going to fill it. Now, DeSantis's attitude is we're wasting too much money. We've had a huge increase over the last 7 years of the money we're collecting. And there's really nothing to show that we need that extra money unless we want to do new things with it, right? You want to use it for new projects or
There's always
or fund
places
more
to
things
spend
that
the
are
money.
there.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, but-
always places to spend
Yeah,
the
but
money.
yeah, and that's how we have a
Part of the
20,
problem, of
$31
course.
trillion deficit, right? Because that's just the way it is. So,
It's not even any more complex than your own household budget. Like if
Yeah,
you're
I
making more
agree with
money, you're
that.
gonna spend more money. Like
Yeah.
But
that's what we do.
They're saying they're going to create a state trust fund that's going to pass out grants to the local municipalities for their needs.
So we're gonna take
For
a big
core
chunk of your
local needs.
budget. But don't worry, we got you. We've saved up.
Yep.
So we can fill it in temporarily.
It's like Citizens for.
Are you talking about the budget thing, the special, the trust fund? Yeah. So that's they have eight. So where's this trust fund coming from? They have $18 billion, the state of Florida, from collecting all this money that they haven't spent.
At
and
least
I don't
they're doing
even
that.
right.
Like,
I have no problem with that. At least they're not just, hey, we got $18 billion.
Yep.
Let's go nuts. So I have no problem with that. But
so
they
that's
have
the magic number, though. Just FYI, that's the number that in the house crafted idea on property taxes. Their projection of shortfall in revenue is 18 billion.
13 billion.
Okay, 13. But I read 18. It just
18
feels like
billion is the money
feels
we
like
have.
the exact. Feels like
18
the exact reason they have that number. They're
No,
like, well, that's
no,
how much
it's
we already
13 and 18. So it's 13 billion for the losses. They have 18 million sitting in a coffer, just sitting there in like a savings account.
built up a war chest.
Right. They built up saving
our
money, just
trust
like,
fund.
believe it or not, just like we had in 2000 before they started giving all those $1,000 checks away. We had tons of money to prop up Social Security and all that, and they gave it away at $1,000 a family.
You're talking
And
about
that
George W. Bush?
Yeah,
that
George
one?
W. When he did that, he took all our savings away for the lockbox that was in Social Security and all that, and all went away, and we all got $1,000. Like, I don't want $1,000. I want my Social Security.
It's
Please.
the
When I
bread, Jim.
turn,
It's
yeah.
the bread.
But
Bread and circus.
But the bottom line is they got this 18 billion. So even if they have 18 billion right now, how are they going to cover a 13 billion loss a year? Because this is 13 billion a year that they're
I
losing.
mean, the answer is so glaringly obvious. It's your budget is going to be less.
Yeah.
So
So
that's a statewide projection, and they're only going to have to supplement certain municipalities, certain local needs, local core needs
Oh,
in certain
well,
areas.
that
right?
becomes-
So how do I'm the municipality? What, I got to come meet you in person, Mr. DeSantis?
Well,
Like,
as
how
of-
do I get my
yes,
money?
that's
Yeah,
exactly
as of right
what
now.
that-
There's only 13 counties that say they're going to run out of money. So that's
Well,
there's plenty to go around.
the proposal they're putting out says that fund, that trust fund, if you will,
It'll be evergreen.
will handle the 13. But if you're another municipality that isn't part of that, but you need the money, if you can prove to the state legislator or the governor, I don't know which, but if you can prove to Tallahassee that you need the money, they will grant the money. So now, no more local rights. Now it's state rights. Now it's all moving up to the state, which I don't like. Of course, I'm a local rights person. Let the people that live there decide their fate.
Way
right?
too much say.
This is what
from
people
up
are going to have to
front.
think about. I was talking to somebody we know, Jim, who bought a condo in Royal Palm, works for Royal Palm. You know, what I'm
Mhm,
talking
I know
about.
who I talk about. Yep. What's going on with him?
He just had a question for me about something. He was actually talking about homesteading his because he had done that and he wanted to make
didn't?
sure he did it right. No, he had done
okay.
that.
Thank God.
Oh, it's not too late, by the way. If you bought a home last year, if you haven't, you lived there January 1st of this year. If you haven't filed for your homestead, PSA, go ahead and do it. That way you can get in on some of this action.
If it
Right?
happens.
If
yeah,
it
if
happens,
it happens.
right? Either way, you need to file your homestead exemption so that you get the lowest taxes possible. But he works for Royal Palm,
Mhm.
and we got chatting about it a little bit, and I don't think people really know what they're getting with these local budgets, and like you kind of take it for granted a little bit,
Mhm.
right? Maybe it's like keeping it green, right? Keeping it looking
Having
nice.
the parks that right around the corner from
si-
where you live.
sidewalks, parks, and these are things that are not school, police, fire. These are just like community, like what makes this community good.
The local
and
parades for
what-
the 4th of July or whatever.
Yeah,
all that
as
stuff.
simple
is
as, like,
Fireworks.
Yeah.
The flags down the street, the
Mhm.
lighting at
Putting
holiday
the street
time,
lights in and all that. Yep.
just
all
things
the flags that say USA
Yeah.
250 down the street.
And I think people, the local populations need to be prepared. Like, yes, I'm going to save money on property taxes, but there are going to be cuts. There are going to be
Yeah,
cuts.
there's
And where
definitely-
those cuts, it's
There's always a winner and a loser. Always.
Mm.
When it comes to this. If
we can't all win.
No, we can't. It's just you can't make it a win-win situation. Unfortunately, somebody is always
Like,
gonna
I
get
wonder,
hurt.
will I still be able to take my child to the library?
Right?
I don't know.
Right? They might just say, you know what? With the internet and AI now, we don't even need
They don't even
libraries
have books
anymore.
in school anymore.
I know. Yeah.
I think
So-
mean,
there's
they do, but they
definitely
don't.
DeSantis' strongest point, I think, is the one where you don't own your home. Like, you still can have your home auctioned off at a property tax sale if you're not able to keep up on your property taxes. And that undercuts it like any other thing. And so that's I think a problem that is worth solving.
Yep.
Is this the best way to solve that problem? No, there's probably 3 other ways that you can attack that one problem specifically.
And we also don't need these certain areas to be in control of the dollars that are increasing into their coffers year over year because of the tax revenue. There's how about we dial in some accountability, show where the money's spent, like that start right there, and then capping how much they make based on what we need. Like there's a way to do it without completely wiping it away. It just feels like,
I mean, if you ever listen to these school board meetings, like there is always something that is underfunded according to somebody else, right? And so
you can feel it. Every
thing where
teacher's like, hey, can you afford $5
like,
every family, please?
Are you, if you have school children, you know that you receive those requests from your teacher, from the school. Like, hey guys, we don't have the supplies. Let's dig in, like everybody chip in.
Sure.
Right. You already have that.
Yep.
And so people know that, like, that's a real thing. And so they're saying they're going to fund the schools. I'm just using that as an example, like, of the overall budget. There's always something that could use this boost of funding, right? Like, hey, we're able to do this thing that we've been putting off.
These are schools that are already funded pretty well right now, allegedly, that we're in a position. If you have school age kids, all the teachers are like, hey, can you afford anything? Be great. Paper towels. What do you got?
Teacher pay. They finally got a raise after 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years.
Now they have had this supplemental kind of pay.
We used to be we might still be, but we were the largest student population for a school district east of the Mississippi or something. Palm Beach County was, right? So we have it's like a whole, individual government by itself.
Sure.
We have so many. Now that might have changed because of all the private charters and all that. Maybe have less. This is where that surplus, everybody's wondering, where do they get the $18 billion? I checked into that, was like, where did this $18 billion come from? Because I'd never heard of that before. So it's coming mostly from state sales tax. Okay. But this is why they have all the surplus money, according to the research I did. Tourists, because tourists are charged a lot more taxes than regular people, like for hotels and stuff. Like if you're a Florida resident, you get charged the same tax for hotels and things like that. They charge the tourists out the wazoo for it. Think of Disney World and all the fees
because you're already
there
captured.
And everything.
You're here,
right? So a lot of this 18 billion came from the tourism engine. The other part was inflation. As inflation goes up, prices go up. As prices go up, you're paying more sales tax because the cost, what you're buying, is costing more. So that's where most of this money is coming from, the 18 billion slush fund, if they have, or trust fund. I don't want to call it slush fund. It's savings.
No, I call it a war chest. It's
surplus. Thank you.
Do we have any numbers on, have any of the local municipalities benefited in the same way and built up their own war chest, or they basically just spending it as it comes in?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't have the answer to that.
Right, like does Palm Beach County, for example, have we built up $3 billion because of these same reasons that the state has $18 billion?
Yeah, I think we wasted on stuff that you'd be like, wow, that's what we spent it on, huh?
Oof, the golden toilets.
Exactly. And if you're counting on that, if you're counting on that surplus money, what happens when the tourists don't start coming anymore, which is already happening. We're already seeing that. So like, that's money that happened in the past, but in the current market, are there enough tourists coming in to keep that surplus going the way it is?
There's still enough, but there's been a little downward pressure on it, but it's still, places are still packed.
So
it's bad timing to cut the revenue, Jim. If our tourism revenue, if our sales tax revenue is going down just because of
I don't know if I would rely on tourism to do our daily budget. Like to have that as like a main thing to say, hey, you 13 rural counties, we're going to do this anyway, but don't worry, we got your backs.
Hasn't it been like tourism's been Florida's golden egg for
forever?
Ever, yeah. I mean,
since air conditioning,
I would say you have to lean on that.
Yeah, and that's why it might possibly work here where it doesn't work in other states,
right?
Possibly.
Well, that's what I'm going to say.
Kansas doesn't have the tourist dollars that Florida
they don't have a guitar hotel.
Well, so
one in Vegas is
Well, there
Almost
are
there.
2 states that basically have no property taxes. Can you guess which of those 2 states might be?
No, well, Texas did something. Are they one of them?
No, because they have property taxes.
Oh, they still have.
Yeah.
The one we taught was it.
There's one that
South
has
Dakota?
basically 0. It has 0.2% of they pay 0.2% for their property taxes.
West
Okay.
Virginia.
Mm-mm.
Wyoming, one of them.
It's a tourism state.
It is.
Oh, Nevada.
Was it
No, good
Dakota?
question. No.
Tourism. What other tourism states do we got?
Hawaii.
Ah.
Hawaii charges their tourists so much money that the people don't have to pay property taxes.
They have big sales tax too.
They
huh?
have, yeah. So I don't know about this. It doesn't, maybe it does, but they said basically it's the tourists. They just charge massive hotel room taxes, resort fees, rental car taxes to fund the state. All of those things are doing it to, and Hawaii's kind of small.
Well, and that Hawaii blows. If that's a terrible example because we're talking about trying to make Florida affordable. Hawaii is the least affordable place to live.
Right.
Like, it really just is. I mean, it's the least.
Yeah,
affordable.
because you got to ship everything in, right? You got to ship everything in. All your milk costs a lot because you got to ship it in.
Yeah,
right?
but even property wise, isn't it like one of the least affordable states?
Well, I don't even think you own in Hawaii. I think there's parts of Hawaii where you only have a 99-year lease on the property. You never really own the land, is what I understand. But anyway, Hawaii only has 0.2% property taxes, so you can do it, right? I mean, Hawaii's not broke, right? And they've been doing this forever. This isn't like a recent thing for them. So they've been able to function that way. But it's kind of a unique situation, I think. You couldn't, I don't know if Florida can handle it that way. Now, the other one is Michigan, right? Michigan has basically no property tax, but they raised their sales tax. And this was way back in 94. They raised their sales tax from 4 to 6%.
They've been
right, to make
without
up the
property
difference.
tax since 94.
That's what it's saying. That's what I
And they
read.
only raised their sales tax from 4 to 6%.
Yep.
And it
that's
sticks at 6.
I guess so. Yes.
Good for
We
Michigan.
need a Michigander to call in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boots
So
on the
Michigander here to give us a call. Now, other ones that tried it was North Dakota. North Dakota couldn't put it together. They only got 23% of the vote when they tried to eliminate the property taxes. Or said, no way, Jose.
Not
But
close.
we're not really eliminating property taxes. We're just, right? Because there's like, for example, Texas did something to lower property taxes, but they didn't eliminate it. So that we're not going for a complete elimination
But
of property taxes
North Dakota wanted to eliminate all property taxes across the board.
for
And that-
everybody.
right.
Homestead or
And they
not.
said, right. And they said, just like the DeSantis plan, the state promised to use its massive oil revenue boom to fund local services. Sorry, am I missing something?
Nope.
So they were planning they were leaning on their oil boom, right? And the voters said no way, and only 23% voted for it, 77% no. Now, the surveys for our state right now are showing about 77% of the residents are for voting for this. So if it comes on right now, according to the surveys, the residents are like, heck yeah, I'm ready to vote this in.
Oh,
but
I can see it all day. 70 when Tom called from Texas and said they passed it at 70%.
Mhm.
I was like, that feels about right.
But here's the thing. I've seen other states say no, and I kind of think that's what's going to happen here in Florida. Let me tell you why. You got the teachers union. You got the county lobbyists. You got the city lobbyists, right? You got the small businesses, the small business groups in Florida. They do not want this because they feel that all of the tax burden is going to slide over to the business property taxes for things they own.
So part of the governor's plan limits future property tax assessments on businesses and creates a more stable tax environment for local
But
businesses.
it doesn't really have a real plan. That's not written in the way that they want to spend the money. They're just like, we're going to try to
It's one
avoid
of the
that.
5 major components to provide immediate and permanent relief.
They
Jim.
don't have anything in writing that says how they're going to handle that. They'll worry about it later. Maybe that's the tweaking, right, to get to the ballot. But the other thing is related to it is
Nope.
Okay, I'm sorry. The other thing related to this is I'm sorry.
Small businesses
is the triple net. A lot of people don't understand this. When you have a business, a lot of times let's say you have
The
a tire.
occupant.
Let's say you have a Tire Kingdom. There's a Tire Kingdom on 441. It was built like 5 years ago. We were looking at that land before it was built, and I learned something through the commercial stuff that when the tenant buys it, you ever see build to suit? You know
Yep.
those signs, build to suit.
Yep.
Well, when they're building it to suit, they're building the building that the customer wants, but the customer is responsible, even though that they don't own the land. They're responsible for all upkeep of the building, the taxes, the insurance, and any future deferred maintenance repairs,
Sure.
any tax increases, anything, even though
Like
they
a
don't,
homeowner.
but they don't own it. They don't own the land and they don't own the building, but they're have the financial responsibility as if they were the owner. So if the taxes start going up, it's going to slide to even landowners because they're leasing the land and the building from another person, and that person pass on the costs to that homeowner. So even if they are the business owners, so even if they don't own the building or the land,
And who's the
they're
business
still
owner
being
going to pass
impacted.
the cost on to?
Of course, it's going to pass on to the consumer.
The consumer.
Of course.
Of course.
So those are the concerns about like doing this is like, well, where's the money going to come from? And I think DeSantis, what he wants to do is just slow down the spending. It's like we don't need to be spending all the money we're spending on.
You need to take budget
But
cuts.
it shouldn't be the governor's decision to decide for local communities how they're going to spend their money to a certain extent.
They're going to have to come up with some way of framing this whole thing of like, don't worry, we got you. We're going to replace your shortfall some way, somehow. No, they need to really push the fact that, yes, your budget is going to be less. You're going to have less revenue. You need to figure out how to operate and keep up whatever levels of service you want to keep up with, a lower budget, smaller budget. They have to make that case because anybody who's not genuine about that, I think, is misleading.
Yeah, it's
clear.
yeah. And anybody that doesn't think that, they're not really thinking it out very far.
Right.
They're not really thinking it out.
What I would like to see is I would like to see a breakdown of what is and isn't being eliminated. Because we haven't even really brought that up other than the fact that we do keep mentioning that schools, police, fire, right? Well, what is
being eliminated?
Yeah,
There's no way to know because
right.
the cities are going to have to decide. Each city's going to have to decide what they're going to strip out of their budget.
Right.
So there's no way.
Okay.
So Boca is going to be different than Port St. Lucie, which will be different than Vero Beach.
I'm looking at a tax bill right now.
Mm-hmm.
And here are the items. Ready? You got fire rescue, library operating, Children's Services Council, county debt, county operating, Everglades Construction, Florida Inland Navigation Service, Healthcare District, Preschool District by local and state, and then South Florida Water Management District. So those are the budget items on the property tax bill.
Right. So you're dealing with
And
the Everglades and Lake Okeechobee. You're dealing with the intercoastal. That's what that Florida Inland Navigation District is. That's all about the intercoastal and making sure that that's functioning. And then all the other services, the Children's Services Council.
And this is a Palm Beach County bill that I'm looking at.
Yes. So it's a very complicated situation. I think this session is supposed to end next week. So next Saturday, we'll have some clearer idea of what's going to be happening. I don't think it's going to pass, and this is why. I don't think it's going to get through. I think the lobbyists for all those different groups are going to drive everybody crazy and say, this just isn't a good idea right now. We got to come up with a different plan. I don't know
what did you call the
different plan.
coalition of counties?
It's called the Coalition of Counties, and then there's the Coalition of Municipalities.
And then there's the Coalition of Non-Counties.
And then you have the business, the business group, then you got the school board lobbyists. You have like 8 million lobbyists that are going to be saying, don't do this. That's why Kansas had a different opinion. Now in Texas, which I think is closer to Florida, so I can understand where Johnny's thinking, oh yeah, this is going to be approved. But I really think the lobbyists aren't even going to let it get to the ballot. That's what I think. I don't think it's going to get to the ballot. I could be wrong.
I actually think, and this again, we're just sharing opinion.
Yes,
I think the timing of everything is crafted very well by our governor. I think the governor wants us as one last to Florida.
Yes,
right.
It does.
And try to set up
For those who weren't watching what you just did there, what was
that? Was a little wave and a kiss on his way out. A little thanks.
A little parting gift.
Yes.
Okay.
And it perfectly sets up the party to be like, look, we are trying to make things more affordable for you, right? Don't change anything. Look what we're trying to do. Like, it's political and to the state. Well, thank you, Florida. I'm out, right? And the timing of it.
No, it's
again,
more like you're welcome, Florida.
Thank you.
He's not saying
thank you and you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yes,
Florida,
exactly.
Right?
And I think the timing of it is I want to say suspect, but it's crafted beautifully by our governor because, again, as I stated long ago, he's got line item veto power for the budget, and the budget comes after this special session. So if you don't want to do what the governor wants, he's going to say, look, I want it this way. Get it on the ballot. Let them decide. And then you guys tweak it. And if you don't want to play ball, I'm going to scratch your lines off of the budget. It is like you throwing elbows around in a negotiation. Mm-hmm. This is him going, oh yeah, this is what I want on my way out. And you're going to do it, or you're not getting in this budget. Now, maybe they go, sir, I can't do it.
Those lobbyists are going to be there way longer than DeSantis.
I think he has more pull than them. And I think I think we will be voting on this in November. Does it pass? We will find out. Mm-hmm. And there will be some tweaks to it because there's no way it's going to be exactly the way it's going to be when we vote on it. They just can't have
the only reason why the only reason why the state Senate leader, I forget the guy's name, Al Britton or something. The only reason why he's on board now is because of this trust fund fix. Once it gets uncovered that that's not really a long-term fix, I think they're gonna start carping about it again.
The House crafted a beautiful. They're like, look, this one's great. It's ready to go. The Senate never even voted on it.
Right.
Why? Because they don't want it to get all the way to the governor and have him knock it all down because that's not a great look. He wants it the way he wants it. And that's the way it's going to be.
I don't agree with that. I think the senators are not on the same page as the governor. And the governor,
better be.
But I don't think they are. And I think that, and we're only talking opinions here. I just don't think, they're uniform enough in order to get this through. I think it's going to be a hot mess. And I'm thinking that they won't even get to the vote.
I think if they play ball, they'll get everything they want.
Yeah.
Yep. And to Johnny's point, like you make this a populist kind of topic, and you could say, oh, of course the government guys don't want it. Look at the lobbyists. The lobbyists don't want to give up money, but what about the everyman? And so you frame it in that way, like it's going to be popular.
Well, some of the
if it gets to that voting.
Well,
stage,
that sounds great until you start getting the lobbyists for the teachers and stuff.
I don't disagree with you, Jim.
No,
I think it's going to be a tough one to get.
I think,
you can never confuse popular and good. Ever. Oh. It will be popular. Will it be good?
Yeah.
I think the senators, apparently they're being a little bit, level-headed on it, which is, guys, this doesn't sound like a good idea. Like we're really going to take away a lot of money in the budget. That just doesn't seem like a good idea. And now they're scrambling, trying to figure out how to, soften that blow, right? This fund, roll it out over a certain amount of things. So
you just frame it in waste. You frame it in waste. It's easy to swallow.
Yeah, it seems.
Do you see all that when you drive around? And you're like, that's where all that's spent. I don't think anybody can say yes.
You know what I would ask people to do is maybe start paying attention, like to what you're actually getting with that money.
Well, that's it.
I disagree with that. Where's the money spent over the last, let's say, 25 years? Meisner Park, Clematis Street. Lake Downtown, Lake Worth,
Jim,
Atlantic Avenue.
You got to remember,
all those things were all money. It was state and county and city, but they were all money that were used.
You know how many people don't visit any of that stuff?
No, but you're saying where?
But they don't think about that because that's not in their life. I have an appreciation for it. I'm telling you right now, I'm probably a no vote.
You're forgetting all the sales tax and everything they're getting from those things. If those things didn't exist, when Clematis Street was dead, when I first moved here in '87, it was ghost town. After 5 o'clock, the business people would leave, and all the crack addicts and the prostitutes would go to Clematis Street. And you don't get sales tax off of crack, right?
Were you down there often?
Now you have, yeah. Well, unfortunately, I was a crime reporter. Yes, so. But now that whole thing is hopping, and think of all the buildings being built and everything. So there's a lot of money coming in from all that stuff that was built, and we built it.
Think about our canal management, like all the irrigation through the place, like just the palm tree trimming, grass cutting, like all of that stuff is, potentially where you can cut back. So that's what I'm saying. Like, go out there and see what you're actually. How does your community look? You appreciate the things that they're doing, whether you're Wellington or Royal Palm or Locks or the acreage or whatever.
No matter where you're at, yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how this shakes out. It's going to come quickly too.
It's going to happen super fast.
This is a bullet train.
And I think he timed it that way on purpose too, to give no time for consideration. He's doing it by the 9th hour to try to jam it through, so nobody can sit there and navel gaze.
What's
figure
funny,
out what's going on.
We started the show you saying you would bet that it's not going to make there. I would bet that it does make the ballot.
It'll be interesting to see.
So one stage is, are we voting on this in November, and then will it pass on that vote?
Right.
Will it get what would you need to get for voters?
60%. So we couldn't even do that for medical or for marijuana.
Failed twice.
We failed twice. We couldn't get the 60%. I thought that would go through for sure.
Oh, me too.
Right. What happened to all those hippies? What happened to all those hippies?
We're the free state of Florida. So I was like, you have a chance to vote for freedom. This is a lock.
Plus,
evidently not.
3 out of 5 people you talk to were probably dabble a little bit.
Well, even if you don't, anytime you can be like, I'll take that freedom, whether you like it or not. So that's the thing about freedom. It's for everybody. So if you like freedom, even if you're like, it's not really my thing, you're like, but I like freedom. Yeah. So let's vote for that.
Yeah.
And it failed twice.
Yeah.
Shows you
or it won twice.
Free state we are.
Depending on which side of the vote you were.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing.
There's nothing about freedom when
I tell you, I could advocate certainly for his first problem, the one about owning the home.
I'm sorry. I just looked at I looked at a house 2 days ago where I looked at there's a thing called IMAP in the I know we only got a little bit. It's called IMAP on the MLS, and it'll show you the tax changes over the last 5 years for that property.
Yeah.
One of my properties I just looked at from 2021 to 2022, it said that property went up 91%.
Woo!
91% in 1 year.
Somebody recalibrated.
And that wasn't like new construction where
was it a new home?
No, it was not a new home. It was a very established home a long, long time. That's ridiculous. Now, I understand that the homesteaded people, they're only capped at 3%. But the other people that weren't homesteaded in that neighborhood, that's ridiculous. So anybody could say that a house increased 91% in 1 year. Come on.
So
something
where'd that money go?
Well,
exactly. That's my argument.
With that particular home. But what I was saying is the point of that you can lose your house to a property tax auction, I think is a real problem. I also think that there are, I'm not, maybe vulnerables and not the right word, but there's certain segments that should be protected against increasing property taxes. For example, seniors, fixed income people, things like that. So I would like take a hard look at like protecting it's a minority of people that need those types of protections, right?
And I like
that's an easy fix.
I like the increase in the exemption too. We've said that since day one. Just increase the exemption on the homesteading.
That was your answer when we talked about this.
We don't have to vote on this. Just do it.
Isn't that mostly what this is? Is it, or do you feel that it's just going too far?
Or like
it's
AJ,
going all the way to zero,
right?
It's going all the way to an elimination of a not complete.
So you're thinking something more along the lines of instead of the 50, maybe we cap it at 100,
250
or 250. Okay.
Or how about AJ's plan, which is like lower the millage rates?
Yep, there it is. You do that too,
right? Yeah. Like just lower your percentage that you're collecting.
I just feel that we have these huge booms, like we had, in 05, 03, 05, and then again during the COVID boom. That's such a funnel of money
value.
For
a little all of the above. Put it all in, get some relief for everybody.
You're talking to a real estate agent who he wants home values to be as high as possible, right?
Sure. But I want to have a healthy economy.
You need to lower your millage rates.
How about property taxes that aren't tied to the value of the home? Is that a possibility?
So just a flat tax?
Like a flat tax.
Right.
Yeah.
I still think my plan would be the simplest, where You take, if you're homesteaded and you're moving and you're homesteading the house when you move in, you get the old, right. And you get the old, whatever they're paying, you pay.
Flat tax based on like certain tiers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
can see
don't
that.
know. I just that way it doesn't, like Jim talks about the increase.
I think we
just
should do,
because of the value of the home going up.
should just be voluntary.
I can see that.
Voluntary
taxes.
Even better.
Yeah.
It's like
when you go to the, they're doing the car wash and they're like donations. We're accepting donations.
Or the restaurants where they're like, pay what you can afford.
Listen.
Yeah, they do well.
There's certain segments of our society that believe that happened. In charity. Like
Sure.
You just
the charities will fill the gap.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for great conversations, guys, and thanks for all the calls today.
Yeah, thanks for being with us. We're flat out of time on a Saturday. Always remember FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. When you need a team to buy a home, sell a home, stuck with a home, you don't know what to do. That's what you need, a team of pros. I got them all for you. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com, on Facebook, on YouTube. Consume away and share, because you can change lives with the pros. Like Mike Rauch, the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. Have a great weekend.
You too. Thanks, everybody. I know that was a long conversation on property taxes, but
Yes,
we can do a whole nother show.
We ain't done.
We might next week. Yeah.
There's Jimmy D with the Florida Home Pros team. Keller Williams Innovations. Have a great weekend.
Happy South Florida.
My man. Jimmy D, thanks for everything, dude.
Thank you, Johnny. Have a great weekend, guys.
I see Greek. Looks like we're going to squeeze out some sports here. Stick around. Locker rooms next. We'll be back next Saturday. Florida Talk Real Estate. It's 2 hours of infotainment. Remember, FloridaTalkRealEstate.com when you have needs in the world of real estate. And thanks for being with us on a Saturday. Have a great weekend, y'all. Florida Talk Real Estate right here, Real Radio.